So this is your quick tutorial of how to use the DC circuit simulation. I started with just a basic circuit here. On the left, you'll see a bunch of different options if you scroll down. So we can get this battery just has with the symbol on it would just be a stronger battery if you want more voltage. So if you want to use any of these, you can just pull and drag, and if you don't want them, you can just push them back. So there's different resistors. We won't really be using much of these different types of wire, but if you want to experiment with them, you're welcome to. So really, we're just going to be using that first and second page of the slide. If we scroll down to these two options here, we can see if we want to do like a circuit drawing symbol, you're welcome to use that one, or we can just use the kind of how we visualize it in real life somewhat. And with this simulator, we only can use DC. So when you go to design your own circuit, we'll just be pretending that we're using AC instead of DC. So that's kind of the basic components you're going to use. And then over on the right, we can see that we have options on labels. So labels will just change the labels on the left. And we can also click values. So we can see the voltage of our battery and the resistance of our resistor. If we want to change this, if I click on the battery, I can change the voltage all the way up to 120 volts, or I can change it down quite low. The bigger battery on the left here will go quite a bit higher, I think 10,000. And we can do the same with the resistor. We can change the value of the resistor. And notice on the resistor, the colors do change too. So this is kind of real life when you look at resistors. They're going to have lines on them that are going to indicate their value. So we can click the values. And if we want to kind of make it pretty bare, we can get rid of the current as well. Now, the other thing you will have to use is the voltmeter and ammeter. So I'll just show you how to use those. So we can just click and drag. And then the voltmeter, to measure the voltage across an area, what we want to do is we're going to place one of the sticks on one side and the other on the other side of the area we want to measure. So here we're going to measure the voltage going across this one resistor. And as it's the only resistor, we're going to have all our voltage drop across the resistor. So it's going to be 4 volts. And then to get rid of it, we can just drop it back to where we picked it from. So for our ammeter, what we have to do is we have to add it to our circuit. So to cut the circuit, we just click on any of the edges and hit cut. And we're just going to place the ammeter between the circuit. So we can now find the current going through the circuit. And then to get rid of it, same idea, you just got to cut it out of the circuit. And we can just drag it back. Now let's say if we wanted to add another resistor, and let's add this one in parallel. So we can take a wire and another wire and our resistor. So now we can see we have a parallel circuit here. So you can play around making different circuits as you work through the lab. The last thing I'll touch on is this advanced button here. So what we can do is we can change the resistivity, the resistance of the wire. So when it's tiny, virtually it's almost 0, which is what we see in most wires. The resistance is going to be so small that it doesn't change the circuit at all, but we can make it quite large. So we can see as I make this wire resistivity larger, the flow of electrons will slow down. So as I increase this, it's a small change, we don't have too much wire, but it's going to change the way the circuit works. So we're going to have part of the lab is when you work with having lots of resistivity in the wire. We can also change the resistance of the battery. We won't be playing with that too much. So hopefully that will give you a sense of how to work through this lab. Yeah, good luck.